take us through that 24 hours there leading up to kind of what was going through your mind and how it all came together.
Well, it started out a little bit slow, I guess you could say.
Right.
Friday, I believe it was April 13th, 4 days before the sheriff's auction, I had read in the Tulsa newspaper that morning before I came to work that the property was going to go to auction on Tuesday the 17th, so basically 4 days later. Like many people in the region, I'd been reading about and heard about the foreclosure process on this property. But having been really, really busy, those were still the early days of Chief Tiger's administration. I believe even his first 90 days weren't over yet. So we were all hustling and bustling and doing things. And so I saw the article, and it occurred to me that Muskogee Creek Nation should go to the sheriff's sale in the courthouse and make a bid on the property. And I knew, Jason, that our chances of acquiring the property at auction probably weren't real high. Nevertheless, I thought there could be an opportunity there, so let's at least try to make it happen.
And can you kind of give us a little bit of an insight into your excitement on, just like you said, seeing that in the paper? From there, was it something automatically that you said, what an incredible acquisition this could be, what an incredible splash it could be for the mission that Chief Tiger wants to bring with his administration to expand, put the Creek Nation out there in situations to where we can acquire these places that will not only bring in a lot of interest to the nation, but will also be a profitable entity, down the road?
Absolutely. It was a very exciting opportunity. I sensed that the moment I saw the article in the newspaper. RiverWalk, of course, is at least arguably the premier retail, entertainment, lifestyle development in all of Oklahoma, fronting the river. And it had its heyday a year or two earlier before the auction, where there were thousands of people coming out, families and couples and people coming out to have a great time. The entire real estate community in Oklahoma views this as the premier property in this kind of lifestyle concept. So I knew if we could acquire it, it would elevate Muskogee Creek Nation in the public's mind as going well beyond gaming and some of the other more kind of traditional efforts that tribes make to generate income. And as you point out, from an economic standpoint, it was an opportunity to earn a very high rate of return on investment. So I sensed both of those from the very get-go.
You look at it now too, to where we are now, and being recognized as the tribal acquisition or business deal of the year, as it's been named. It kind of seems like we knew what we had when it happened. The city of Tulsa knew what was going on. There was certainly a lot of hustle and bustle, and rightfully so, in the media here, right here in our bubble of Tulsa, the community, surrounding areas. But now to be recognized nationally, and for some organization to look at all the deals that are being done with tribes, and they number in very high numbers right now, because a lot of tribes are getting together and getting with it business-wise.
Yes.
And so to be recognized in that way, it's got to be an amazing feat for you guys. You got to feel such a feeling of accomplishment about it, and it's probably nice to be recognized that way.
It is, Jason. It's a nice recognition for all of Muskogee Creek Nation. It was an integral partnership between the executive branch and Chief Tiger's leadership and the National Council, recognizing and understanding the opportunity and acting very quickly to authorize the bid. And you're correct, there are tribes nationally are moving in a variety of different ways to develop themselves economically, to diversify their income streams. So for us to be selected for Deal of the Year out of many hundreds or thousands of deals that were done last year, many very groundbreaking, innovative, it is a wonderful sense of accomplishment. At the same time, it's gratifying, it's very humbling.
First thing you want to do when you get a new bike is take it out on the street or whatever, test it out. So when we got this place, immediately it became, we're going to have festivals there, we're going to have, little art markets, things like that. We want to really get people ingrained in what we're doing, and really that mission of having something very communal and an open air, and it's just a wonderful spot, like you said, Do you kind of see that continuing? I know that we've had a few things here, but continuing on from this point forward, I know that you guys have big plans for it.
Yeah, absolutely. We wanted to get this property even beyond what it was in its heyday in terms of the types of entertainment we can bring, in terms of the type of retailers we can attract, and of course restaurants and other places where people can come out and dine and have a good time. We see a lot of opportunity to do that. In addition, as you know, we have about 4 acres over here that's unfinished. We believe that there's ways of not only tying the property together so where that we no longer have the open acreage there, but we got the entire property developed. And I think also in a way, Jason, that's going to be very synergistic with the $300 million expansion we're doing right across the river at River Spirit.
Exactly. I think it's great the way it ties in. And also, I'll have you comment on this for a minute. I think that having this property here now, doing what we're doing across the river at River Spirit and turning that into Margaritaville, and now you see the mayoral elections coming up in Tulsa, I think people are going to start coming to Creek Nation more as a partner, as somebody to work with, somebody that they want to be seen doing business with in the city of Tulsa because they see us taking those steps. It could be something where the entire community in this city ties in with what we're trying to accomplish too and helping us get there. Do you kind of see that too?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Chief Tiger's commented on that a number of occasions, that the city of Tulsa, large businesses here in Tulsa, the community generally looks to Creek Nation as increasingly as a partner, as an important voice in the direction that Tulsa is going and improving Tulsa economically and with job creation. It really, I think, the acquisition of RiverWalk in many ways, it elevated our status, our importance in the eyes of the community and community leaders to where we are now regularly invited to have a seat at the table at some of the most important discussions going on that affect the future of Tulsa.
It's a great thing. I know that with the place here, I think location, keep going back to that, and everybody does because it is perfect. It's here in the Jinx area, which a strong Creek presence and influence here, and always has been.
Yes.
And you look, like you said, across the river, a lot of our plans too call for getting some water in this river, getting some people moving across back and forth. I mean, that's the way San Antonio and Oklahoma City started up, and look what they're doing now.
Absolutely. And so we are in part, when I mentioned having a seat at the table, we are a part of discussions of how we go back to the mission at hand and perhaps look at a plan B for either building dams or other alternatives of getting water in the river.
Right.
We think, and I think most of the people around Tulsa believe, that having water in the river will be a great boon economically to the entire city, and particularly riverfront development, of which now we have 2 of the premier properties that possibly could be had along the Arkansas River.